Welcome to Shannons Club TV, the show for all motoring enthusiasts to explore the histories of significant cars in Australia.
You'll find all our previous episodes on the Shannons Club website, along with the full road and race histories by Mark Oastler and me. Still to come, we'll take a road trip with the proud owner of our feature car and get some market news from the Shannons auctions team. Right
now though, let's look back on the handsome Aussie Fords that restored pride in the embattled blue oval, the BA and BF Falcons.
The late Jeff Pilates was not a car designer, but as far as the BA Falcon was concerned, he may as well have been. In 1999, Ford's global boss Jack Nasser, the first non-Ford family member ever to head the Blue Oval empire, invited Pilates to head Ford Australia. Both men were Australians. Pilates was the proverbial man on a mission. The BA righted numerous AU Falcon wrongs, added a twin overhead camshaft version of the venerable 6, including a turbocharged version thereof, and skewed the model mix more towards XRs. The upgraded 6 was so good that no modifications were needed for the XR6. With 182 kilowatts, it was generously endowed and much smoother and more refined than any previous XR6. As for the turbo, it made an awesome 240 kilowatts and rendered the V8 redundant for many. But Mark, back then it was still V8 supercars, so the turbo never got a workout at Bathurst, did it?
Well, it certainly didn't get a workout in the traditional 1,000 kilometre race at Bathurst, which was exclusively V8 supercars. But we did see examples of both the XR6 Turbo and FPV's F6 Typhoon in action in the Bathurst 12-hour production car race when it was revived in, I think it was 2007. These cars never won their class, but they were highly competitive against the V8s, which really showed, some excellent high-performance breeding.
New front seats, located closer to the centre line of the car, were a huge improvement, and a smaller steering wheel contributed to the sportier ambience. A simpler, less expensive control blade IRS was standard not only on up-spec variants but all BA Falcons. FPV deserves great credit for its work on the BA and BF and their successes. After the disappointments of the EB-GT and the near-caricature EL-GT, Pilates and Tickford boss David Flint agreed that the GT should not be returned to the range until it could live up to the legendary name. The timing was March 2003 and maximum power was 290 kilowatts, a huge 70 more than the XR8. The FPV turbo models, the F6 Typhoon Sedan and Tornado Ute, followed. The BF came in October 2005 with 6-speed ZF Auto on up-spec variants. FPV introduced new luxury Force 6 and Force 8 variants to round out a brilliant range. Sadly, the unloved AU sealed the Falcon's eventual permanent fall from sales grace. But to discerning buyers, the BA and BF Falcon range really hit the sweet spot. Mark, is it fair to say that these Falcons perform better in supercar racing than in the showroom?
Well, certainly when you're competing against the Holden Commodore, that would be fair. But the BA and BF on the racetrack delivered Ford fans a triple treat. The BA and BF Falcons were pivotal in Ford Australia's motorsport history. After 4 seasons of poor results with their unloved AU predecessor, the BA and BF proved to be prolific winners in V8 supercar racing, which revived passion and pride for many long-suffering Ford fans. The BA's and BF's racing successes came at a time when Ford and Holden had never been closer in performance in their exclusive Civil War. This was achieved by a bold engineering strategy called Project Blueprint, which from 2003 successfully aligned all key performance criteria between Falcon and Commodore. Like most successful race cars, the BA proved to be immediately competitive on debut in 2003, allowing Ford teams to set their sights on finally penetrating the fortress-like Holden racing team, which since 1998 had won 5 consecutive championships and 2 Bathurst 1000s. John, Jeff Pilates knew Ford had to start winning again. So, racing success was crucial to that image. But the development of the product in BA just went beyond the racetrack. And, wasn't there a great synergy between the key product planners? At Ford you had
Gordon Barfield, and at FPV you had Mark Baer.
Correct.
And they really worked together to create two distinct product streams, really. They had the traditional V8 cars and they had the turbocharged 6s, which were more like up against Subaru WRXs.
Trying to appeal to that buyer.
So you've got FPV actually differentiating itself considerably from HSV in that period.
Yeah, very different business models for the two opposing special vehicle divisions.
That FPV thing was a real standout and created some truly iconic cars.
Yeah, very, very good models for collectors today,
Yes,
aren't they?
absolutely.
Yeah. The stars finally aligned for Ford in 2003 when Stone Brothers Racing, its new BA Falcon, and the mercurial Tasmanian Marcus Ambrose cracked Holden's defences wide open. Ambrose won 6 of the 13 rounds to secure Ford's first title since 1997. They did it again in 2004, only this time it was an even more emphatic victory, with teammate Russell Ingall finishing runner-up to Ambrose in another famous Ford 1-2. SBR and the BA made it 3 from 3 the following year, with Ingall leading Triple 8's Craig Lowndes and Ambrose to an unprecedented 1-2-3 clean sweep for the brilliant BA Falcon. Ambrose moved to the US in 2006 to chase NASCAR racing, and Triple 8 with its BA Falcons soon surpassed SBR as Ford's top team. Lowndes and new signing Jamie Whincup winning the Bathurst 1000. In 2007, Ford teams updated to the latest BF model, in which Whincup won his first championship and, with Lowndes, shared in 2 more Bathurst 1000 wins. With the debut of the FG Falcon in 2009, the BA and BF Falcon era came to an end, after 6 seasons in which they won 4 championships and 3 Bathurst 1000s between them. For the man who started it all, Ford boss Jeff Politis, it was mission accomplished. Remember, you can build your own virtual garage on the Shannons Club website.
Hi, I'm Matt,
And I'm Trina.
and these are our BF Cobra GT and our BF Cobra U. The BF Cobra GT was produced in 2007 as a tribute to the XC Cobra. The condition is, as you see them now, we haven't touched them at all, given them a good wash every week. They were in pristine condition, both one-owner cars. The blue stripes, we love the colour coding on the cars. We haven't touched them at all, we've kept them stock standard, and that's the way we want to keep them. The limited edition, so they're collector's items. Sedans are made 400, and this build number 190. The BF Cobra Utes, they made 100 of those, so they're more prestige, and that's build number 14 of the Ute. It's a 302 kilowatt engine with R-Spec and membrane brake package. It's a really nice drive. The Ute itself has got a membrane brake package, but it hasn't got the enhanced handling package, so it's not R-Spec. But basically, they're identical engines in both cars. Comparable to this, the XC was a truck to drive, and these are so smooth and beautiful to drive. Much more enhanced driving package as where the older vehicles. They're lovely cars, they're collectible, but they're just nothing to drive compared to the newer vehicles. More comfortable, the creature comforts are much better. We just like driving them as a pitch and pair when we go out, sit next to each other, and they travel well together. They're sisters and they like to be together. It's about the performance and the looks of the car. The fun part about driving cars that stand out is the looks you get as you drive past when there's 2 of them. More fun with the clubs that we're part of, and just driving them on weekends. They're our weekend drivers, and getting them out to be seen. They're driven, not hidden.
Well, Shannon's National Auctions Manager Chris Borabon's dropped by to bring us up to speed on the BA and BF Falcons in the auction scene. Welcome, mate.
Hey, John.
Welcome, Christoph. We've got Fords and we've got FPVs, so let's start with the Fords. What's the pecking order there?
Oh, good question. Look, I think, that really the BA and BF was really a comeback for Ford, following the AU and, the XR8s, the XR6 turbos. I mean, there's some great choices for enthusiasts out there. So, I think they were fairly spoilt for choices.
Oh, there were so many models.
Yeah, the Fairlane G220.
Yeah. That's it, yep.
XR6, XR8, and you had the Utes as well, carrying over those, the XR badge. So
some of the great colours that are brought back.
Yeah, wasn't it great, the colours that came back with that range?
Yeah.
And then, of course, you've got all the high-performance FPV models, which is another thing altogether. In terms of pecking order, would the FPV models be more valuable than the Ford-based models?
You tend to agree because, obviously built in lesser numbers. There was some great work done there and really, a lot of high horsepower engines that were brought out. Great colour schemes once again. And we see today there's a massive following in the marketplace. I mean, there's several clubs out there for the BA and BF Fords.
Well, it was quite very different to HSV at the time because you had the V8 stream and you had the turbocharged six-cylinder car. So that was wonderful selection of depending which way the buyer wanted to go.
Yeah, that's right.
What would be more valuable in the collectible market, the turbocharged six-cylinder cars or the traditional V8s? Do you think, or are they about the same?
Tough one. You would tend to think that the V8 would probably be, hold its value a bit more.
Okay.
Have you seen a Force 6 or a Force 8 come through? The luxury version?
Yeah, we don't really see those models come up at auction. You do see some come up in the classifieds, but again, quite rarely do they come up. And again, try and find that unmodified low mileage example is probably
be something to hang on to, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
And two absolute standout classics. We must mention the 40th anniversary GT, that beautiful black and gold colour scheme, and of course the Cobra, which came in a sedan and a ute. So where are those cars sitting? Because I know when they came out, they just got snapped up like that.
They did, yeah. They got snapped up. A few people missed out, so we saw the activity in the marketplace fairly high for the next 12 to 18 months. Look, they're still holding on their value fairly well. The 40th anniversary is doing really well, holding its value.
Because they only made about 200 or so. There was a very small number of those made.
Yep. But definitely, I think, low-K example are really tightly held by collectors in the ute and sedan form.
What about the more mainstream models, the mainstream sedans?
Yeah, like a Fairmont gear.
Fairmont.
Beautiful cars.
Yeah, look, the great car, well built. I mean, we spoke about the Fairlane as well, the G220. I mean, great luxury saloon. Again, if you find, the right car, right service history, right ownership, low Ks, I mean, a great car to have, out for the weekend outing, out with family and friends,
So in terms of collectability, do we start with FPVs? Are they sort of the top of the pecking order?
I would say so. I mean, that's probably the way I'd look at it, I think the FPV top of the pecking order, and then it would flow down into the Ford models, And
in terms of sourcing these cars, you mentioned, there are very, very active, enthusiastic club movements around these cars, aren't there?
Yep, that's right. Yeah. So you'd look for the club, and also you'd look in the classifieds, and obviously try and find the low ownership and low K models.
Okay, very good. Thanks, Chris.
No problem.
And remember, you can keep up to date with all the latest Shannons auctions news on the Shannons Club website. If you want a lasting memory of the BA and BF Falcons in competition, check out the huge archive at autopics.com.au. In reflection, there were so many things happening when these cars were out, but those you mentioned earlier, those beautiful bright colours from Ford's past, it really showed that they'd got their mojo back, didn't it?
One of the marketing people, Mark Baer, took in some old colour charts, I believe, and they finally got their mojo back with putting a choice of bright colours back into the Falcon range, which they'd missed out on for so many years, where Holden had its Tiger and its Acid. So that was a major thing, and bringing back some of those classic names too.
They really were in a retro mode, and they were trading on Ford's past glory because it was really clearly defined there. You had the Ford performance product, you had the FPV performance product. Within FPV, you had a V8 line and a Turbo 6 line, and these wonderful names, the stripes, the colours, the whole mood of Ford. It just made it look really hungry, sort of like the late 1960s.
I was going to say, it was really the first time since the early 70s that they've done that they brought in the motorsport flavour and the high performance thing alongside the mainstream cars. They did it very, very well. And Unfortunately, they didn't sell enough cars, but really there was a car, as Alfred P. Sloan Jr. might have said, for every person purpose.
I think you can
in
look
the
back
Ford
on
range.
that. Yeah, I mean, you look at the success they had on the racetrack and the relative success they had in the showrooms. You could not accuse Jeff Bellides of not giving it absolutely 110%. He tried everything, didn't
Pedal
he?
to the metal all the way.
Yeah,
absolutely.
it's a great legacy.
Yes.
Yeah. We hope you've enjoyed reflecting on the breakthrough BA and BF Falcons. We hope you can join us next time for Shannons Club TV. Bye for now.